Empty camera cases everywhere here. This is all empty. And it's all empty because... Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Quick recap, I'm in the middle of a big estate clear out right now. I've purchased all the contents of this home and agreed to clear it all out. So it's a really big house, it's got a lot of stuff in it. We've done a lot of digging, we've still got a lot of digging to do. I have a large dumpster on site, but there's nothing in it right now. But I've got reinforcements on the way tomorrow to professional movers coming to fill that right up. But we still have one awesome room in the basement to dig through and a few other small areas in the house where I think we're going to find some treasure. So let's head downstairs right now because there's a collection down there I've been dying to go through. Okay, up until now, you've only had a quick teaser of this room here. This is one of the 3 areas of the home where I saw the most value. You're going to see why pretty quickly, but we're going to start in one corner and work our way around here. Hoping to find some pretty cool treasure. There's a lot of stuff I can tell right away is going to be thrown out or donated. But let's start here, and then we'll get over to the really fun stuff. All right, we got a bookcase here. It's full. It's full of books. There's more books. There's nothing but books in this house, I swear. On top, it's a family scrapbook. We've got some books. We've got medical. Looks like some history here. And then a lot of National Geographics. So National Geographics don't really have much value unless it's the earlier ones. They're very common. A lot of people subscribe to this publication. So even the thrift stores won't take these. So we're going to have to dispose of these, unfortunately. We've got some more down here. More medical books. We've got an empty box there. There are some family items here, so I have to be kind of careful not to show that. And any of that will be going aside for the family. A few Life magazines here. A couple older ones. I'll probably lot some of these up into an auction pile. I've got some more magazines in here. Okay, so these would be for wool. And there's a spinning wheel book and what looks like some really old wool. So I'm not going to keep that. That's gross. That's going in the garbage. Yeah, that's exactly what that is. More magazines. Paper, files, more books, partial Yahtzee game. Okay, so, and we've got some bookcases here. We can't donate these. They're going in the dumpster. We're going to have to break them down nice and flat. Paper, more medical paper items. This is... It says nasal something. Oh, nasal speculum, I think this is. So you're going to shove that up your nose, I guess. Oh, it's got a flashlight, too. That's kind of wild. This looks like another cassette case here. And, or at least a wooden box. Yep, another cassette case. So this gentleman is big into classical music, so I don't expect to find all the rock and roll I'm looking for. Oh, but we do have some sealed blank tapes here. These are always cool. These are worth $5 and up these days, depending on the brand. So there's a couple right there. That one has been used, but there's another sealed one. And, okay. I don't know what that's supposed to be. All right, so we got a few blank tapes. We got a few cassette cases here. We're good so far. We've got another wood shelf here. So we've got some CDs with information on them. Empty DVD cases. We've got... Oh, like a portable keyboard, I guess. Still in the original box. Maybe I'll put that aside. That might still be relevant today. Got something here in the case. Let's see. Okay, so it's surgical tools. Kind of cool. I'll put them aside. There's lots of medical stuff here, so maybe I'll take some of the better items and lot that all up for an auction. If it's vintage, I'll sell it in the shop. Okay, here, so we've got a little kind of cross section here of the ear and the ear canal. So that's always kind of fun stuff. It is a little on the new side though. I will put that aside to sell some other medical items in an auction. We've got some more surgical tools here. Okay, oh, here's even more here. So this is like most of an otoscope here. So this would be, if you haven't already guessed by now, this gentleman, he's retired. He's in a home now, but he is a retired doctor. I'm not going to give away anything to do with location or names, and I want to protect their privacy. So don't ask, don't try and guess. Oh, here we go. More here, right here. So this would be for testing hearing. So these have value. Any medical tools cost a small fortune, even in a case like this. So they're worth putting aside and selling. And more files. Okay. So not a whole lot out of this area. More than anything, just junk to fill the dumpster. But that's okay, because I know there's some really good stuff in here. Hang on. Okay, so we've got a couple prints on the wall here I'm going to pull down. And then we've got a little pile here. This is for the sun, so I can't touch this right through that table. So let's walk right past that. We've got a little love seat here. It matches a chair we saw upstairs in the living room. We got a few old dolls and a bear there. That's cute. We'll put them aside. Okay, so we've got empty camera cases and boxes. Empty camera cases everywhere here. This is all empty. And it's all empty because they're all on the shelf right here. So on this whole shelf here are cameras made by Exacta. So these are German, probably 1950s through 1970s. These are good quality cameras with good lenses. So if you see right there, that one says a Zeiss lens. That's Carl Zeiss. So definitely one of the pioneers as far as lenses go. You'll see Zeiss lenses in every type of scope you can think of, whether it's like a microscope, a telescope, cameras. Down here, we've got more of the same company here. We've got more of the same brand right here. So the reason I like this collection is because these are rare cameras and they do have some value. These aren't the everyday point and shoot cameras you would have bought at the department store. These are professional photography cameras, and I would not be surprised if all of them would still work. The only way I'm really going to try and test them is just seeing if the shutter will still fire on them. I'm not going to bother putting film in them and seeing if they actually take and develop photos, but highly collectible cameras. I'm going to put a lot of these in the store. A couple of these are probably, I'll sell them online. There is a good collector market for these. But I think this is going to look really, really sharp on one of my shelves in the shop, displayed properly. And down below, they've got some slides. I may take a peek at some of those in case they're medical. That's always interesting. More camera books and accessories. So I'm going to have to keep all of this together. I want to match everything up with its box and its accessories if possible. More cameras. More vintage cameras. So again, we've got a lot more German here. If you know anything about vintage cameras, these aren't the ones you see every day. These aren't your standard Kodak brownies that were made, for 60, 70 years. There might be a couple of those mixed in. Like that one there looks like a Kodak. And on the top shelf here, we've got some folding cameras. There might be a couple of Kodaks mixed in here. And even the Kodaks have some value in folding cameras. We've got a couple more down here. Again, better German cameras. We've got a nice little small one right here. That's kind of fun. Almost like a spy camera. Some more nice folding ones here. These are a little bit different. They're very simple looking. I don't see an obvious name. I might have to open it up and look, but these will just look great on a shelf. We've got more down here. Again, I just love how there isn't, 6 or 7 of the same camera. And then even here, we're getting into some newer cameras here. These would be probably some digital cameras. We've got, so here's a more modern one here. So that would be a digital SLR probably with a nice lens. Down here, we've got a case with a case and more accessories. Another lens. That's a nice looking one right there too. And that's a Carl Zeiss lens as well. So there's gonna be a lot of value in these. I'm not gonna be sending any cameras to auction, I don't think, unless they're more of the modern ones or the cheaper ones. All the better cameras are going back to the shop to be sold. When I was buying the estate, this was a big part of the purchase here, so I need to maximize value on these. Okay, we've got a lot of records down here, a lot of classical little record box sets. I'm going to be sending all these off to the auction. I may grab one or two for myself just to listen to mix things up a little bit. This is a box of old photos that the family didn't want. They've kept a ton of photos. These are like old cabinet photos here. I'm going to make sure I don't show any names, but I can sell these, $2, $3 and up depending on the subject matter. So he left those for me. They've got a few more over here. And we've got what looks like postcards. Okay, that's a big box of postcards. Doesn't look like they're very old. I do prefer the early stuff, but still worth grabbing and digging through a little bit more. That's gonna be a slide case there. Yep, with a whole bunch of slides. I may peek at it just to see what's on there. So those are all letters. I'll just leave those for the family, let them decide. So not a whole lot going on, but we do have the camera collection, but I think there's a couple pieces coming up here that we worth looking at. Okay, we've got some old newspapers. So again, more personal effects there. More photos. More slides. More CD cases. More of that. Oh, here we go. Here's an old Chinese checkers game. That's kind of fun. It's cardboard, but it's got some age. We've got some marbles there. So that's a piece I'm going to put aside right now. It's like cables. Here we go. Here's a nice vintage Pioneer cassette deck, double cassette deck. I could tell this by looking at it here. This is going to be a decent model for sure. It's got all the bells and whistles. It doesn't just have the basic functions. So looks like it's got some sort of equalizer built in. So I'm going to pull that out because cassette decks do have some value, especially the better brands. And okay. This is a turntable. So it's pretty new. Looks like it's never been used. It doesn't feel like very good quality. It's very light. The company on it is Grace. I've never heard of that one before. Worth taking a closer look at. One way or the other, I'll be selling it. Too new for the shop. I only put vintage turntables in there, but that'll likely go through the online auction. We've got a print here. It's not old. It's just a reproduction. But there we go. That's got a little bit of value there. We've got a 1 terabyte external hard drive. Still in the box. I'm hoping. Feels like it's in the box. Yeah, look at that. May have never even been used. We've got some computer software. Most of this stuff is going to be really outdated. And, oh, this is pretty good here. So we've got a nice power supply here. This is a APC. And you can see the model down there. So these are not cheap at all. So that's a good auction item. So that's about it for this room. I will dig a little bit deeper as I start packing up items and getting ready to throw some out. Any key items I find I'm going to pull out, we'll talk about those a little bit more. But that's it for this room. So you can see there's a lot of work ahead of us here. Okay, so we're done going through the room with the camera collection. As you can see, it's pretty awesome. It's going to be a lot of work going through it all and maybe matching up the cases and the accessories. A lot of research to do, but definitely going to be worth it. Almost everything else in here is going to be junk. You did see a few pieces we pulled out here that are worth reselling. Some stuff to go to auction. But for the most part, this is stuff that's going in the dumpster. Okay, so our next job for today is the den. We've got tons of books to go through. I've got the movers coming at 9 o'clock in the morning. It's 6 p.m. now, Sunday night. So they're coming Monday morning, bright and early. We've got an empty dumpster. But a lot of these books are going to be going to auction. And I've only got a handful of cardboard boxes. So I'm going to have to find a bunch of those somehow quickly. But in the meantime, I can at least sort them because I'm going to be taking a handful back to the shop. to research and sell in there. A few from my own collection. They'll go into our totes. But you can see I got my work cut out for me here. So we're going to go through all these. And if I find anything really cool, I'm going to put it aside and we'll talk about them as we go. Okay, so it's safe to say in the last few hours I've made a pretty good dent on this main section here. You can see it goes right around. So everything here I've actually moved onto these shelves. These are going to be packed up and sent to auction. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, another one in the hallway, 6 bins overflowing to go to donation. And I've got 3 bins here. I'm working on a big stack here and a few more here that will be going back to the shop with me, or a few from my own collection. We've still got this large bookcase full and a few smaller bookcases throughout the house to go through. So a few more hours of organizing and sorting through these books, but there's going to be some real treats in here. So once I'm done with all the books, I'm going to show you what I've come up with. Okay, it's now the next morning. It's Monday now. It's about 8:30. I've got the movers coming in a half hour. We're finally going to be throwing some stuff into the dumpster. I've also got my trailer empty, ready to go as well. So I've got a storage locker rented nearby. So I'm going to be taking anything that's going to auction to the locker. Anything that's going in the dumpster is, well, going in the dumpster. And then we're going to have a little bit of donations after that. So today's a really big day. It's a really important day. It's important that things move quickly and I stay one step ahead of them so they're not waiting around for me. So we're going to start upstairs. I'm going to get them pulling some things down, getting the dumpster. I'm going to be digging around a little bit as I go, packing a lot up. If I find anything cool, I'll show you guys as we go. So let's get started. It's a big day today. Okay, the movers are here. We're starting to fill the dumpster. Well, we're about to start filling the dumpster. We're going to start with a few flat pieces of furniture that are just garbage. They're knocking them all apart. And we're going to start with a little layer of that. And then we've got a lot of junky furniture going on top. So could fill up pretty quickly. I'm going to keep a close eye on it because I'm going to have to call the dumpster company for a second one, I imagine, pretty soon. But we want to cram this as full as we can to the top before we do that. Okay, so we just finished our lunch break. We've got a fresh dumpster here. We actually filled the other one. I didn't even get a chance to show you guys. They came 2 hours early just as we were filling it, so that was really good timing. The guys are moving really quickly. We haven't touched the garage yet, so there's a lot to go through in here, but fortunately not much big stuff because I really don't want to go over 2 dumpsters. They're quite expensive. Okay, the boys just left. It is a little after 4 o'clock, so they put in 7 hours today. This is dumpster number 2. It's already more than half full, so we're looking at 3 dumpsters, which wasn't what I was expecting. I was thinking 2, but that happens. And then we've got the first trailer load here, which is full. This is going to the storage locker, and then it'll be sent off to auction. We've got some loose things here to get rid of still. Here's the garage. It's closed right now, but that's still full. We've done pretty well in the house so far. We've got the cold cellar here. We've got all scrap metal, so that's waiting to be picked up tomorrow. I'm actually having him come. So this is ready to go for him, so he doesn't have to mess around too much. And we've got this crawl space under the stairs that had all the bags and the camping gear. It's all completely empty. And this is the bulk of the work tomorrow we've got to deal with. I've pulled out pretty much everything I want. We've got a few auction items left in here. There is going to be a lot of garbage. We still got a few tools to pack up. But the guys are going to be in here first thing in the morning tearing apart these cupboards here. They just really can't be donated. They'll be going in the dumpster. So that's a big task. And we've still got this whole area too to deal with. There is a lot of junk here mixed in with a little bit of good stuff. We've got some better items as we go. And then we've got the large room here. So still quite a bit here. We've taken a few things out, but we've still got the bookcases full to go through. A couple closets with old slides that have to go. The family's already dealt with that stuff and backed it all up, so they want that thrown out. So quite a bit left in the basement. We've definitely got at least one more full day with the moving guys. We're going to fill that dumpster, bring in a third dumpster, and that should do it. And on the main floor, the laundry room's been cleaned out. We're good to go there. We've still got a little bit left in this living room. Mostly auction items and a little pile I've got for the shop. The pile for the shop is mainly just a few things in the middle. We still got a bit to pack up here, some garbage, some donations, some auction, but mostly empty. We still haven't dealt with the kitchen, but it's just a handful of stuff in the cupboards. Should be able to bang all this off in about a half an hour. The dining room is still very full, so I'm gonna have to be working hard in here, packing up the smaller items I want to take to the shop. Smaller items are gonna be packed up and go to auction. I've got a few donations and a little bit of garbage in here. This is mostly better items though, but some bigger pieces are gonna have to go in the trailer that'll be going back to the shop. And we've still got a living room that's mostly full. We've got the dirty sofa and chair out. It's pretty much done. We've got a little bit of scrap metal here. A few items I've got to sort through to take back to the shop. This room here, again, pretty much done. Just a few more things to pack up and get out of here. This room is done except for a piece of scrap metal. And the master bedroom, mainly just three or four pieces of better teak furniture that will be going in the trailer to go back to the shop when we're done with all the stuff to go to the storage locker. A few more odds and ends to pack up. So we managed to get a lot out of here in 7 hours today, considering the house was still completely full as of 9 o'clock this morning when I got here. Oh, and there's still a little bit more to talk about here. The den is still pretty full. We've still got a corner here for the homeowner to take out. I've still got this whole bookcase to sort through. I'm taking these pieces of furniture with me. We've got a desk that's just going to be thrown in the dumpster. It's really not one that anybody's going to accept for donation. We have cleared a bunch of the books out for donation and auction. But I've still got this whole section here to go through tonight at some point. It's already at 4:30. But I've still got to sort through all this so we know what's going where. Okay, so I've been at it for about 3.5 hours now. I'm pretty much done the giant bookcase. Had to take a break every once in a while because my eyes were getting blurry, so I parted around with something else. But that's all looked after now. There's lots that have to be donated, lots that have to be sent to auction, and 6 or 7 Rubbermaids are going back to the shop to be sold. But I want to show you a few of my favorites. There's some pretty cool stuff in there. All right, let's take a look here. So, we've got these massive bookcases where there's thousands of books here. Floor to ceiling, literally. And I've gone through it all. We're pretty much done with this section here. I've got these ones up here. They got to be boxed up and sent to auction. We've got another pile here. They've got to be boxed up and sent to auction. Everything on this shelf right here is all for donation. And then I've got my own little stack going here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus a bunch more. So we're probably like 7 totes full of books that I'm bringing back to the shop. There's some really cool special interest stuff in here. Some rare books, some giant oversized books here. I'll show you a few interesting ones off the top here. A lot of these will also be sold through probably Amazon and eBay. I don't normally keep a lot of newer books in the store, but there's a lot of really good art books in here. We've got, interesting books on photography, Art Deco, just kind of fits in with what I sell. We've got a book on the Kama Sutra. And a lot of this stuff is rare. These are big, heavy books. These aren't like the $9.99 special coffee table books you pick up at the bookstore. More art. I know I've got some cool stuff here beyond the art here real quick. Get these off. There we go. A book on classic cameras. I'll probably put this on the shelf with a lot of vintage cameras I picked up in the collection here. Here's another one here, basically the history of cameras. I may put that one aside there and actually read it. I wouldn't mind learning a little bit more. More art. Lots of art. I found a few cool paper items here. I've got an advertisement here for elephant liquid paint here. It's pretty early. It's a paint sampler, as you can see. I love my ephemera, and this is pretty wild from the Canada Paint Company. This is going to be pretty early, probably late 1800s. There's probably a date on there somewhere. Just a cool book here on Leonard Cohen poems. It's just a paperback. It's nothing great, but I know that'll disappear fast. Little mini book here on Jumbo the Elephant. You know, pretty big deal in my area. We got some fun stuff. This is just for myself because I had these books when I was a kid. Calvin Hobbes is my favorite cartoon. And the newspaper on Saturdays. So I put a few of those aside for myself to read for nostalgia. So we're almost done with the books, but we still got this bookcase here to go through. I'm going to go through it tomorrow. I'm beyond tired right now. I'm going to start making mistakes and, you know, throwing the good books in the donation pile and keeping the crap. So we'll leave that one for tomorrow. But huge job to go through all these books. It's not as simple as just saying I'm going to box all these up. I'm not going to keep all these books. I can only take so many back to the store. So that's one of my biggest wins of the day here, is to finally get through all of this. Okay, so that's about it for day 4 and 5 wrapped up in this video here. I've got the movers coming back again at 9 o'clock in the morning. So I definitely need to get some sleep. And with some luck and a really good fast-paced day and no hiccups, we might be able to finish the house tomorrow, if not worst case Wednesday. Only way to find out is by watching the next part of the series, which will be coming up shortly here. So in the meantime, make sure you hit the subscribe button below so you stay in the loop for future videos. Go back, watch the old videos, and I'm going to get some sleep. We'll see you next time.